Greetings, YouTube, G.I. Joe fans. It is January 14th, 2023. And I've been talking about this for a while, but I am actually taking steps to follow through with my plan to sell my 1/6 scale G.I. Joe collection, at least most of it. This was my very first one in this sculpt, which was available from Hasbro from 1996 to about 2004. This is not the stock gear that this particular soldier came in. So now that I'm packing everything up, I kind of want everybody to be in their stock gear so that when I sell them, I'm selling them the authentic figure, even though it's not mint. It's as mint as possible. But this gear, this is G.I. Joe Hasbro gear. This uniform was with a special collection called the Medal of Honor recipients. Benavidez, he was an actual soldier who served with the U.S. Army Special Forces Airborne, also known as Green Beret. So there's the insignia. This is his rank, and if I'm not mistaken, it's an E8, which is a master sergeant, potentially a first sergeant, but it's E8 on a scale of 1 through 9. So he is a senior sergeant or non-commissioned officer. Basically, the figure that this came in, this was a basic figure. I hate to keep using that term. Here, I got him packed up now. I got him geared up the way that I saw soldiers in Black Hawk Down geared up. Watching that movie as kind of a real introduction to the modern military. I never served in the military, but I've always been interested in firearms and fighting, law enforcement. I just want to be realistic with my presentations. All right, so anyway, Black Hawk Down, I realized that a water source is important for a soldier, for a combatant, and also resupply, reloadable ammo. So that's what he's got. I made sure he was equipped with that. Also, this was because of his rank. I showed you he was a senior sergeant or a senior NCO. I wanted to make sure he was going to be a team leader, or he did serve as a team leader in my imaginary universe. So he had a communication device. And here, some more. Check this out. More spare ammo. This came from a Soldier Store. I ended up buying it on eBay for some inflated cost, but you know, when you get into a hobby, you want something, you just want to get it. All right, well, back to my story about the soldier. He does not have the articulated fingers called the gung-ho grip. Some of the more advanced figures had, or the deluxe figures was the word that they used at retail. I'll show you what he looks like here. I like the nondescript, kind of universal soldier look. The haircut, a younger guy, most enlisted, probably in combat, active combat roles are going to be sort of your younger soldiers. So I think this is realistic. It might not be realistic for his rank, but I do like this look. Another thing about this physique, it's not the super articulated figure, which is bad in some ways, but it's good in the way that it kept the cost down. When this guy was available at retail, he was only $14.99. He just came with a t-shirt, green pants, those boots, and this rifle. So he wasn't, like I said, basically, he didn't even come in a box. He came in a blister pack. It was basically a cardboard pack with a plastic bubble wrap over it. All right, this is why I'm getting rid of the 12-inch G.I. Joes. For one thing, they have not been available in retail. Not figures of this quality since 2004. So it's been about 19 years. For another, they take up a lot of space. And when I'm trying to declutter my life. And for another, G.I. Joe's back. And They're back in this form. Not quite as small as the original 1/18, which is essentially a 4-inch figure. Purists will say, oh gosh, it's 3 3/4. Yeah, it's 3 3/4, give or take. And some of them were taller, but 4-inch figure, I think it's an easier way to describe it. Okay, so this guy here is not a 4-inch figure. He is actually a this guy's 1/6, this guy's 1/12. So he should be half the height of this guy. Now imagine how small the original Joes were. The head would come up here. So here's what I like. These guys are out right now. They're also the original characters that I grew up watching on the Sunbow cartoon. Instead of me having to kind of invent an identity for this guy, he already has an identity. They're still articulated, way more articulated than the original 4-inch figures, 3 3/4 inch. They still have a lot of detail. He's got a functional holster, a kind of a sheath, for lack of a better word, to carry a shotgun. They're out right now. For comparison's sake, this guy was $14.99 back in, say, 2000 to 2004. This guy is like $22 right now. Call it inflation, corporate greed, what have you. That's where things are. He's what I'm going with because he's available right now. He's the cool thing. And he takes up a lot less space than the big guy. Alright guys, I'm saying farewell to my longtime squad leader since 2014. I'm probably going to keep him, but I'm going to keep him in his original garb. And I'm going to let go of, I guess, 80% of my big G.I. Joe collection.